Everybody hear me? Yeah? Hello. Thank you all for coming out tonight. This is our 11th IndieNomicon monthly meetup. Yeah, we're really excited about this. We're closing out an entire year of presenting games, all local games from Orlando. And we want to thank you guys for being a part of it. This is a community, right? We're trying really hard to connect all the gaming fans with the developers out there, and you guys are a testament to how well we're succeeding at that. And together what we're doing is we're growing Orlando as a center of game development, right? And that's important. We want to become kind of the next hub for indie game development. And it's starting right here. This is the event that we believe is going to ignite the fuse that's going to launch the rocket for this game development in Orlando. So thank you all for being here. You guys deserve a big hand. And tonight we are in a brand new venue. We are really excited about this place. I hope you guys have gotten a chance to check it out a little bit while you've been walking around and checking out the screens and the technology. And I'd like to introduce Ann Collins, who's going to talk a little bit about the Melrose Center. Ann.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out to the library tonight, and welcome to the Melrose Center. We're very pleased that you're here. I'm one of 5 staff members here tonight. You'll know us by our ID badges. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask us. I'd like to ask you tonight to, if you're not an Orange County Library card holder, to please support us by signing up for a library card. We have some get carded leaflets over there by the door. We'd really appreciate it. We've got some pens so you can fill them up, give them to one of our staff members, or leave it on the desk. If you're not an Orange County resident, please don't despair. You can still use the center for a small fee. Based on what you're getting, it really is a small fee. We have a recording studio, a video studio, a fab lab, a simulation lab, a photography studio, and as you can see, some really nice spaces for tech groups to meet. So if you are in other tech groups, please let them know we're here. We'd be delighted for them to come have a tour and to know about our facilities. We'd be very pleased to welcome them. Another thing I'd like you to know is that to use the center independently outside of the tech groups, you'll need to take what we call the general orientation. It's just an overview of the center and a tour afterwards. It lasts about an hour. There's one tomorrow at 10 a.m., Saturday at 10 a.m., and one on Sunday at 1:30. You can check our website for other times and dates. So just like to thank you again for being here. Have a great night.
And for those of you interested in using the center, make sure that you talk to Ann if you're a game developer and there's something that you want to see here. Those are the people to talk to. So excellent. So real quick, what I want to do is just introduce some of the board members, the people that help make these events happen from month to month. We have James Morgan sitting up in the front. James, wait. And we have Kunal Patel over here. Kunal. And Steve Emberton. Where's Steve Emberton? Way in the back, you can see him by the gorgeous beard, waving in the breeze. We have Anthony Bagsby's here tonight. Miss Anthony?
Downstairs.
Okay, gotcha.
He's directing
Jack Henkel, who helps us out with all of our events from UCF. And then we have Krista. Where's Krista?
She's at the table.
At the sign-in table. If you guys have not signed in, shame on you. Go sign in. We'll see Krista. And then CJ. CJ, right there. All right, cool. So these are the people that help make this event happen. Come up to us, talk to us. We want to know how we can do this better, and we want to learn from you guys and meet the needs of the community. So we don't bite very hard. So make sure you do sign in. See Krista. And we have 3 really excellent games we're going to be showing off tonight. The first one I'm really excited about. This is 3 Dead Zed from Gentleman Squid, and Fabian Flores is going to be showing that off. Fabian?
Hello everyone. As you said, I'm Fabian from Gentleman Squid Studio. I'm the studio director, and I'm here to present 3 Dead Zed.
So we're
out something cool. So anyway, if you go to our website, the trailer's there. It's 3deadz.com. So a little bit about Gentleman Squid Studio. We're actually 2 years old. We're a team of 7 people that created this game, created the games that we've done. We have 4 releases over multiple platforms, which includes PC, Linux, Mac, and Xbox Indie Jam. We also have games that are on mobile too, which is that other game that you see under Astro. Some people ask us why do we call ourselves Gentleman Squid Studio, and actually it came when we were developing the game 3deadz because when we're doing all these concept phases, for whatever reason we kept having like the squid involved in our designs. And one day one of our artists just kind of drew the squid attacking this boat. We had like in this early concept, and then someone just shouted out like, put a monocle on it, put a top hat, and then someone else like, Gentleman Squid, that's the name of the studio. And I'm like, I think I was the only one that I was kind of hesitant. I'm like, we're really going to call ourselves this? You know, it's like, but it did grow on me very fast, and I'm very proud of the name. But that's the simple story of how we came up to Gentleman Squid Studio. So it was actually the start of a dream that, you know, at the company that we all worked together in a different industry, and I noticed one of my really good friend, really talented artist named David. He was doing this little funny looking zombie at the bottom that you see here. That was the original drawing. It was this flash drawing, and I thought it was so great. So proposed an idea to say, hey, why don't we take this idea and actually grow it into a bigger game? And so you know, we went with it, and we had no idea what we were doing. We actually none of us made a game. We had no formal training. The only person we had our programmer was the only one that really had any training, and she's actually here too. So, you know, when you see Jen, please say hi to her. But in 3deadz, what you're doing is you're controlling the super zombie. This zombie is able to change into 3 different forms because science. I don't know. It's just instabilities that we wanted to do for this game. We wanted this zombie to have some kind of unstable reason why it changes. And kind of one of the things that we thought was funny to have it like escaping this. Granted, it's a testing facility you're breaking out, but then you're just trying to break out of one of the worst working conditions. So it's just kind of a slight little metaphor. It's a daily grind type of thing. So okay, sorry.
Better, guys?
Can you guys hear me better? Yeah. Sorry. Okay. All of a sudden it's like amped up. Okay. So you're escaping one of the worst working conditions where the game is very much a platformer / puzzle solving type of game. It's I know, like, when you look at the game and you saw the trailer, there's a lot of buzzsaws. It's not a Meat Boy type of game. It's very much like a game called Lost Vikings. We didn't mean to do that, but it feels very much like Lost Vikings when you're playing it. We actually didn't even know about Lost Vikings when we were doing it. We were actually compared to Trine a little bit more, and we're like, well, we never even played Trine, but it just happens. So, and also you're saving cats in tinfoil hats. I don't remember quite the origin. We wanted the zombie to collect cats to save them for some odd reason, but attack people. Just go with it. So. Okay, so we released it in like 2 years ago in January, and we kind of learned some really valuable lessons on this because we were a very green studio, and we realized that we need more and more play testing. So any developers out there, I have no problem telling you, you haven't play tested your game enough, because if you need all sorts of varieties. The game was pretty buggy. It was a bad release when we did it, but we also didn't have many people noticing it either because we didn't really know how to do a press release. So you make sure you make sure you're ready. You have someone who can write. Someone can help you out with your press release because it's bad if you don't. We also you have to realize you have to be very, very thick-skinned too when you release any game, no matter what, because you're going to get some of the bad people commenting on your games. So we took all this negativity that we got. I mean, we actually had a lot of positive comments and positive reviews, but we always listen to what people said. So we actually re-released the game and rewrote the game completely in XNA. And that way we can have some hardware acceleration. Oh, I'm sorry, the original game was made in Flash, so this game was actually hardware accelerated. And we also were interested in bringing it to consoles, so we added many new features on top of that. We wanted to add lighting, we wanted to add achievements, we wanted to add just more stages. So you can kind of tell in this picture here, this was the bottom left one is the original, and the bottom right is the same scene, but we have lights and stuff like that. And if you play the game in the back over there, you'll see everything in motion. A lot of people ask us, so we submitted to Steam multiple times, and people are always saying, well, why aren't you on Steam? For the process of Greenlight, which a lot of you are probably aware, you would submit your game, and you really didn't know why your game was rejected. You just got a letter saying, we don't think you're a good fit. So all we could do is just speculate, and like try to fix whatever we think people are saying about the game at the time, and we never had an answer from that. And then Steam Greenlight came out, and we're like, hey, this is a great opportunity. So we put our game onto Steam Greenlight, hoping for some votes. We were like one of the original submissions when that first came out. And then we got to remember to be thick-skinned again, because some of our first comments were not so bright, but we had a lot of good positive comments, but some of them were pretty bad. So please, just remember, be very thick-skinned if you're a game developer. So, but the good news is that we're trying to get into Greenlight, and right now we actually made it to the top 100. It's been a long journey for us. And we still need votes. So one of the things that we're trying to push here is that we need your support. We're looking for local, Orlando. We need your help. Then as you can see, we actually have 8,200 people saying yes, and we do have a lot of positive comments. So now one of the things we're actually taking, with hopefully if we could get in Greenlight, we're actually decided to change our cover. This is the cover that you see everywhere, but we actually wanted to update it, so we're kind of doing some different things here. So we have like physical copies and stuff like that. So we wanted to just kind of give it a new look and kind of show you what we're doing with hopefully getting on Greenlight. If we get on Steam, we're actually working on Steam achievements and trading cards, and it's going to be Steambox ready. So if you already know about Steambox, it should work. It already supports on Linux. So and like I said, we have some fan and critic support. So all the negativity, don't think it's all just negative. So we actually listen to everyone. And what's great about most of these comments that we have were from our original release that, like I said, it was pretty buggy. We can admit that these days, but yeah. Now, one of my favorite quotes that I ever saw was 3 Dead Dead's A Labor of Love. And it's infectious as the zombies within. A lot of us are very passionate about indie games, and this comment just meant so much to me. It's like it's because it's been a lot of hard work just to get from where we are, and I really enjoy my team. I really love working with them, and just we've had a lot of ups and downs, and you get a lot of headaches, and just every now and then you get these late nights and you want to just choke everyone. And I know the team definitely wanted to choke me out a few times, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. So it's fun. So anyway, we're actually going to be at MegaCon. Please stop by, say hi. You can also sign up to possibly win a Kindle Fire, the original one, not the expensive new one. So, don't get too excited. But we do have this. So or you can also sign up here, and I'll explain after this. So, and once again, please go to Steam Greenlight. Please tell your friends. We need your support. Please play the game in the back, and if you have any questions, I don't know if we can do that right now, or anyone have questions? Oh, sorry.
How long did it take you to do the first release?
The first release, it's kind of a shaky start because, like I said, we didn't really know what we were doing. So there was kind of this weird planning phase that was probably longer than it really should have been. But then when we actually got Nose to the Grindstone, the first original release was 3 months. So it was, well, 3 months, including the, fixing the bugs that we did find back then. So yeah. Yeah, 3 months. And then when we went back into doing an enhanced version, that took us 4 months. So, yes.
this a part-time or full-time project for you guys?
It was a full-time project for us. Yeah.
You guys, this is your job right now?
At the time, yes. We were like strictly working on game development and just pushing, working on that.
Have you tried to get on maybe a smaller distributor like Azura, or maybe sell it on your own website?
We're actually, yes, we're on almost every site that you can think of. We're on Desura, Gamersgate, where you sell it direct. We're on Green Man Gaming. We've tried to get on Good Old Games, but yeah, they won't. But we've tried a lot of other places. So you know, we're just trying to build a lot of support to get us. Yeah.
All right. No, we have to move on. We're kind of on a tighter time schedule tonight than usual. But let's give Fabian and Gentleman Squid a big round of applause.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah? So you're not as gloomy as the weather. Okay, that's good. I like that. All right. My name is Rupert Magnon. I'm here to talk about Evolution Games and Got Chosen. Basically, Evolution Games, what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am first, talk about who we are, talk about what we do, and then say, you know, why do you care? Okay? So, who am I? Well, I'm the director of game operations for Evolution Games and for Got Chosen. And this is me on the right if you didn't recognize. Yeah. And then this is our CFO, and then this delightful young lady is a spokesmodel for our firm. We were doing some shooting some videos that day. Most of my time is taken up at Full Sail. I teach project management to budding producers for the game industry in the Game Design Master's Degree program there. And this is one of my classes. They're doing their superhero pose, you know, at the end of course. Don't ask me what he's doing, so I can't explain that. I'm also an entrepreneur. I started my first business when I was 20. I had a simulation business for 11 years, and this is one of my simulators. It's a full motion helicopter simulator. I'm popular with the kids in the neighborhood, you know. And then, of course, why are we all here, right? So we like to get it on when we can. So who are we, or who we are? Got Chosen is a local company. We're on near the corner of Colonial and Cimarron, and we're an innovative multimedia startup. And we have three different tenets to us. The first two are choice and privacy. And people ask, well, why choice and privacy? Well, the thing is we want to create a new experience for the internet, for people who surf the internet and go on the internet. And the thing is choice and privacy come into play because, you know, when you're on the internet, you're being tracked, your data is being collected, you're being sold, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of seeing the Viagra commercials on my Facebook page, you know what I'm saying? So you're being followed. Who here thinks that's creepy? Who here thinks that's creepy? Right? Yeah, get those in. Yeah, I see. All right. So the thing is you're being followed. So what we're doing is we're creating something new that will give you control of the ads you see, as well as allow you to be as private as possible on the sites that belong to our publishers. And of course, being privacy oriented, we never sell data to anyone. In fact, we don't even make money from ads. If you go to our website, you'll see there's no ads there. It's all self-funded. The other tenet is doing good before doing big, okay? And we plan on being quite big. So we do that, we do the good part because through scholarships, right? Because right now we're one of the largest private scholarship companies in the world. In the last less than 2 years, we've given almost $150,000 to students who need it, okay? And not just students, but people who have student debt. So we're basically using these scholarships to build our brand image and our web presence and so forth. But we're gonna continue this. This is a long haul. We're getting more money. In fact, we got more money today for more for scholarships. So let me tell you about the scholarships real quick. One of them is our $40,000 scholarship program, and it's basically it's a popularity contest. Okay, it doesn't cost anything to join. It literally will take you 60 seconds to join and to submit to be in this contest. And what it is you get, every time when you join, you get a number, and you have a bowl, right? You put it in the bowl, and then you get all your friends. You go on Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter and all these other places, and you get everybody to go to Got Chosen. They sign up, and they put your number in that bowl. Everybody here is familiar with random number generators, right? Well, basically what you're doing is it's randomly picked number out of that bowl. So if you get 1,000 of your friends to put your number in that bowl, you get the picture? Okay? So these are 3 people that have won. Right now, until the end of this month, we're doing our 4th drawing for the $40,000 scholarship. All right? The other one is $1,000. It's exactly the same. It's just each month we just pick a new $1,000 winner. And then we have our Lights, Camera, Action video scholarship, where we have people come and submit videos based on several different themes that we put up. And right now we have 330 videos on our website. Okay, we only have 4 games on our website. All right, we don't have the last game. It's not on there. Okay, so this guy was doing a fake commercial, and this girl was doing something. I think it was, what's music mean to me? So the next one that we're starting is Evolution Games. Now, Evolution Games, simply put, is we want to be the launch pad of choice for you guys, right? That's what we're here for. So what we want to do is we're offering scholarships, but we're also offering seed capital, all right? Seed capital. Let me explain. The scholarships first. Basically, what we're doing is the players of your game are competing for $1,000 to $3,000 scholarship money. How do they get that? Well, basically, they have to win games. You win games by playing the game and getting a high score that's above the median of the scores of that game for that day. You get a point. And then you play more games and get more points. And guess what, folks? They're also competing for money by giving you useful player feedback. All right? None of this bad stuff, the feedback, that's a complaint. So I tell my students, I got 2 departments. I got a feedback department, and then I got a complaint department. Right? So these aren't complaints. They have to give you good feedback, because that way they get points from 1 to 5 points from you for that feedback. So everybody think that has some value? Okay? So they provide useful feedback. Now, you don't have to be a student to get the scholarship money. You just have to have school-related expenses, okay? So, obviously, if you're a student, currently enrolled, then, use it. But, if you've been out of school for 10 years and you're still slaving over your debt, that's covered. That's covered, folks. So if you've got student debt, you can use it for student debt. I don't care if you're out of school and you hate it with a passion. You can still cover it, okay? So the contests for the devs are basically, you can win between $500 and $10,000, okay? And first of all, you submit your game. You come in, you submit your game, you do a little dance here and there, whatever, a little synopsis and so forth. And honestly, I went in there this morning and I submitted a game. It took me 3.5 minutes. Okay? Surely you guys who are a hell of a lot better at coding and all that other stuff from computers than I am could probably do it a lot faster. Okay? So you submit the game, and we give you an API. You have to put in the game and so forth, and then you get a key and whatnot. And then you're up. Okay? And then you go and you get all your friends to come and play your game and vote for your game. Right? And so the top 10 in the qualifier each month, okay, through the most plays, the most votes, and the most feedback, they go on to our contest, okay? Now in our contest, that's where the money comes in, right? That's when we say, okay, 10 competitors are competing. So the winner gets $1,000, and the second place person gets $500. We're just starting, folks. We don't have 10 games yet. If we get 10 games before the end of this month, then we'd start the contest next month. And that means you get a bye on the qualifying round, and you have a 20% chance of winning $500. Does that sound like interesting? Okay. So, and a 10% chance of winning 1,000. So it's by the most played game, it's by the most feedback, which is rated by you, right? And if there's a tie, they look at the qualifier ranking, okay? But the two that win money now are automatically in our championship every 6 months. So we have 5 months of contests for 2 winners each, and then they go into the championship. In the championship, 10 competitors compete for $10,000. And this is seed capital, folks. You could be anybody. And if you win it because of your game, then you hopefully will use it to buy computers, get that Maya, get that unique date, and all that other stuff.
We will be closing in 15 minutes. But we're back anytime.
Okay, so the winner will get $10,000. So when you submit your game, you can win up to $11,000. Okay, I don't think that's too bad, right? Who here could not use $10,000? Okay, so again, based on most plays, most feedback, and your qualifier ranking, the submission requirements are fairly simple. We're accepting Unity games now. We're also accepting Flash games. We don't have an API for Flash, but we're working on it. We need a scoring mechanic. Because remember, these people are playing games based and getting points based on the scores that they get, right? So you need a scoring mechanic. It has to be less than 650 megabytes, right? Because when you have, we hope to be bigger than Congregate someday. So when you got 10,000 games on your site, you're going to have some sort of a funnel. It also needs to be a single session game. Basically, what we're saying is each completed session will generate a new score. Okay, we'll automatically send the score to us so we know what it is. We don't want any restart buttons or play again buttons or anything like that. You can have them, but as long as it sends the score when they finish each time, that's cool. And then, being the privacy advocates, we ask that you don't store players' data in any way for a long period of time. So, just FYI. All this stuff is on our website, gotchosen.com. Let me ask you, why do you care? Well, let me ask you, do you have enough? Enough of what? Enough of opportunities. Do you have enough opportunities to get your game on? The guy that was just up here, Fabian, he's talking about he's on all the sites and he's doing all the things. He's going to MegaCon, he's doing all that stuff. He's not on our site. But does he have enough opportunities? And he'll tell you no. Okay? So, do you have enough money? What do you need that money for? You need it for resources. Okay? You need it for Maya. You need it for the Nintendo Dev Kit. You need it for the Unity Pro Kit, right? You need those resources. Exposure. Right now, we have people from 63 countries visiting our Got Chosen site every day. And soon they'll be coming to the Evolution Games to play games. If you can find better exposure, it's like, I feel like Leah and Coop, if you can find it better somewhere else, go get it, right? So exposure and then player feedback for free, guys. We're incentivizing them to give you good player feedback, right? Constructive criticism. And I don't know about y'all, but I live off of that stuff, okay? Especially on how to be a better speaker, right? So all this is yours. Submit your game today. That gotchosen.com. Any questions?
Yeah, I got a question. That scoring mechanic part, is that just necessary for the submission, not for the final product?
Yes.
So if you were to make the next journey, and you had to slap a scoring system on it, you could take that out if it was a winner and no harm, no foul there. If you modified the design afterwards.
Is for us to use it, it needs a scoring mechanic. Okay, if you can take that out and then sell it or do whatever else you want with your game, that's fine. But we just need the scoring mechanic. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yep.
Yes.
How do you make money?
How do we make money? Well, we're going to make money with our new product that's coming out in about 6 months. Right now, we're spending it. We're spending a lot of it, okay? But that's how we're going to make our money. Okay. Does that answer your question?
No.
Technically not? Okay. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to get publishers to join our system, and those publishers are going to pay us per sale, not per click. Because everybody knows that per click, your 97.7% of the money you spend on it is wasted. So, but here they're getting the money in hand first, and then they're paying us 5% of that. And then we're going to, when we come to a business and say, hey, we got 3 million people, would you be interested in selling to them? Right? And they'll choose your ads or ads for your company to be on their site, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. Hey.
You submit a game 1 month, does it stay up for next month? Do you have to resubmit? Do you submit a different game? That's what I don't understand.
It stays there. Okay. And you resubmit. Okay. And so you stay in the qualifier. And right now we rolled over the first 4 games till the next month. But yeah, you just resubmit. Okay. If it's already in there, that's no problem. And if you don't make the top 10, you just keep going. Just keep going. And you can keep improving your game. There's nothing to stop you from doing that. You're getting feedback from people, so then you've got your game up. That's not your only copy of the game, I hope, right? And you build your game up and you make it better, and then you resubmit that. Okay.
All right. Cool. Thank you, Rupert, for presenting our
So, hi everyone. My name is Remy Crespo. A lot of you probably know me local. I am also one of the people who try to help the community as much as possible. I host 2 other events very similar to IndieNomicon, one called Game Developer Night and another called Industry Night. Those of you who are here, who have been to them, you know. Those of you who don't, I'll just make it quick. Game Developer Night, very similar to IndieNomicon. The exception being is a private showcasing once a month for one development studio. And it's only indie devs who are coming to this event, and we privately play test your game, and we say what's good or bad. The reason for this, Orlando's booming. There's a lot of people, this is your first time game. There are many that have been working in the game industry for years who could go and give good advice about what's good and bad, game design-wise, art, or whatever. So I'll just skip all that, and we'll just talk about the good stuff. So, Temple Tap. This is my studio's first project, and every time I have these events, I think it's just my luck, I'm the only one here. My other associate, Jason, unfortunately couldn't make it because, believe it or not, he's a dad. He just had his kid today, so, you know. Awesome. Get that going. I said that So, okay, so, as I said before, I worked in the game industry for a couple of years. I actually lived on the West Coast for 4 to 5 years. I've worked on tons and tons of AAA title games as an artist, as a tech artist, even as a designer at one point or another. So I've had my hands in the game industry, and I've been devoted to making games my entire life. This has been my passion, this has been my dream, and I've worked on a lot of games. I've worked on a lot of games. A lot of games. A lot of games. A lot of games. Too many games. In fact, I've worked on games for the last 10 years, since I first started college all the way to now. This is actually my first successful game at this point. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a little. I have worked with different people, different backgrounds, you name it. Mainly, I worked with a lot of programmers. A lot of different programmers. A lot of different programmers, and a lot of different programmers. And believe it or not, these are all the programmers I worked with just for this one project. This is not even including all the other games I've done in the past. I've gone through studios worth of people that I've worked with. Needless to say, things happen. Lots of things happen when you work with different people. Mainly the biggest ones, time, ability, babies, and just people saying you're out of your mind. So, needless to say, it's been very difficult to this point. And with this particular game, I've happened to work with some pretty safe people, I want to say. People who actually believe in what we've designed and what I have been trying to do for a long time. And what I care about is not pretty graphics or making a buck. That's the way big companies think. I think like how I grew up. I play games in front of a screen for hours and hours, and I could be on the same level And I can be happy with that because it was a fun game. I can play Sonic to this day, and I can still crack a smile because I remember what that was like growing up. That's not the same anymore, and the libraries kick us out, apparently. So, needless to say, I worked with these guys, and they have been nothing but a godsend. So, Henry, Sean, and Jason. Jason is now the guy who couldn't be here. He's local, and he's a programmer friend of mine that shares the same vision as I do for making stand games. Henry's worked with me professionally in the game industry for the last 6 years. We worked on Mass Effect, we worked on Firefall, we worked on Doom 4. I mean, name it, we've worked on some pretty big projects together. At my last job, I worked with this individual in the middle, the very handsome gentleman there. He is my audio guy. He's actually traveled with the George Lucas Symphony before. His father is a very big name opera house guy, which I don't even know his name, so I apologize, Sean. Don't kill me if you see this. But needless to say, he's grown up with audio his entire life, and music's been his passion. So our game that we designed, we wanted to make a fun game that showed a certain quality bar, and we wanted to make it feel like a game that anybody could play, no matter the age, no matter the range, and it had a certain aesthetic to it that anybody could relate to, find fun, crack a smile. On the simple end of it, very, very simple. On the high-end gameplay, people could play that for hours and hours. This has been my first project. I showcased this game at Nerdapalooza back in September. It's where I met a lot of you. Look at you, right there. I met a lot of you individuals when I first moved here to Orlando at that point, and I've made some very great friends and some great allies along the way who believe in the same things I do. So with all that said, let's just get to the good stuff. So, Pat Templeton. Pat Templeton, Gentleman Explorer. He is the main character for Temple Tap. Yeah, ironic, Pat Templeton, Temple Tap, whatever. Playing words. Needless to say, he is a gentleman explorer and adventurer, and our game was designed to be very whimsical, very colorful, and very much inspired by the old Disney type style, as well as many of you can kind of figure out. Maybe a certain guy who runs away from boulders and fights Noxies and stuff like that. I'm not going to say names because I don't want to get sued. No offense. So, needless to say, tab out. I will go ahead and show you Pat Templeton's journey. If I can get to it and not goof up. Needless to say, it's a little bleak out right there. He finds this device in the marketplace, he fiddles around with it, it opens, he finds a map, and he leads on his next journey, his next big adventure. So the whole game is actually based to be a memory matching game. Very similar to those of you who grew up maybe back in the 80s or maybe in the 70s remembering a game called Simon Says. It's very much built on the principles that it's a game that scales over time. So the actual game itself is made, like I said, for anybody. Anybody here can play this game, and honestly, unless if you cannot follow more than 3 sequences at a time, you can play this game. I've only met one person who actually got frustrated and nearly broke my tablet doing that. So for the most part, we are hoping to be released not only on iOS, but also on Android devices. We are also going to be not only just for phones, we're going to be for the Nook, we're going to be for the Android tablets, forget the name of that one, and of course the iPads and everything else. This will be our first game, and like I said, we are called Make a Stand because we want to make a stand against games that are being released right now. We want to make a stand to make good quality games that are fun. So that's my presentation, guys.
My name is Ben Crocker. I'm one of the co-founders, of Hapa Games. Hapa Games, we're all graduates from FIA, and there it is. That's us. So we were founded back in August 2013, and we are here now. First, I just want to say thank you to IndieNomicon and Kunal and David and James and everybody else that's part of IndieNomicon, because this is really important to us as budding independent developers, because we just love being a part of this and knowing that there's a community here that will support all of us. So we're Hapa Games. Hapa means half in Hawaiian, and basically if you look further to that, you can derive it to mean a smaller piece of a larger whole. And that's what we are. We're a small piece of a larger games industry, but we still support it. They still need us. They need all of us to make sure that it's balanced out. So the game that we're working on has been Ascendant. We've been working on Ascendant since August of 2013 and just been going full steam ever since. Ascendant is a very unforgiving 2.5D roguelike brawler, or what we're calling side-scrolling beat-em-up with roguelike elements now. So I'm going to show you guys a trailer, give you a basic look, and then we're going to go over some of the mechanics and gameplay and tell you where we are as a company right now. So that was the trailer. We just released that maybe 3 weeks ago. It's gotten a lot of good feedback, but the game has changed significantly since then, as it always does in our really busy software cycle. So the story of Ascendant, not to give too much away, but basically you play as a demigod trying to usurp or dethrone an ancient, more tyrannical god. Along the way, you're going to face zealots, fanatics, different kinds of beasts and monsters, and they're going to basically stop at nothing to make sure that they defeat you. It gets a little bit deeper than that. All I'm going to say is that one terrible dictator is not the end. So the gameplay,
What's over the name of the town?
Which? Oh, well, that's kind of the summary. So the game of Ascendant was inspired a lot by like Binding of Isaac, Rogue Legacy. We took a lot from Guacamelee to get our combat mechanics down. And obviously, like, we grew up playing brawlers and beat 'em ups like Streets of Rage and Battletoads and TMNT. So that took a lot of inspiration. We took a lot of inspiration from that. So Ascendant is a brawler at heart, and you're going to be running around punching things in the face with a sword just all the time. We utilize a lot of modern roguelike elements. So permadeath is a thing. We give you a variety of different kinds of loot, and it always drops. You're going to have a lot of unlockable content, and there's going to be a lot of procedurally generated content as well. We wanted to achieve in Ascendant a very unique visual aesthetic. We wanted to shy away from the 8-bit, the pixelated stuff that indie games are kind of known for now. But we think we've achieved that with what we've been doing. Obviously, like, our concept art has been really big at inspiring us to keep true to that aesthetic. We also wanted to make a game that was tough as nails, something that was really difficult, that kind of harkens back to the days when we were playing Streets of Rage and kept dying all the time, at least, me. but we wanted to bring back that experience, especially now with games like Super Meat Boy coming out, or Binding of Isaac. Those games are tough, and we want to capitalize on that ourselves. The first thing that you'll notice about Ascendant is it's very heavily combat-based and mobility-based. So we like to call it, it's like an agile beat-em-up combat. We allow you to do a lot of ground and air combos to enemies. You can also juggle them in the air. You can also launch enemies in pots at other enemies and do a lot of damage to them. But the key to the game, the key to survival, is learning how to dodge, learning how to parry, learning how to counterattack, and learning how to move around the environment. We've tried to be as precise and accurate as possible with our controls so that you have total control over what your character is doing. So if you screw up and die, it's your fault. Another thing that you can do is you can understand the enemy patterns. That will get you really far in the game. All the enemies have certain patterns that they do, and knowing what that is, knowing when your enemy's at a disadvantage, and knowing when to strike, that's going to keep you alive in the game, because health is few and far in between. So we try to keep you on your toes by learning how to do these things. Finally, we also give you a lot of different unique spells and weapons. These things all have different unique characteristics, and you'll be able to adapt to any playstyle, really. By picking these up, learning how they work, and just using them in the environment. Blessings. Blessings are kind of the meat of the game. These basically are your abilities that you can pick up throughout the environment after you do the boss or you beat a special room. Basically, you can socket them onto either your weapon, your armor, or your spell, and they will do a different effect depending on where you've socketed them. So, for example, this one in the picture right here is the aspect, or the blessing of Raijin. Raijin is a god of thunder, or lightning, and so if you put it on your weapon, you can get a chain lightning effect, like what's happening in the screenshot there. Other examples that we have, you can get the blessing of Zephyrus, and that will give you a double jump effect if I put on my armor. Another one is the blessing of the Agni, that'll give you like an explosive spell. But these are just 3 of a variety of different things that we have in the game that are available for players to pick up, to discover, to unlock, to figure out how they work. So we're pretty excited about this. This is one of the best parts of the system, so I did show it off here. So to get back to kind of the roguelike elements that we have in the game, Ascendant is a constantly changing world. Every time you play through, you're going to get an entirely new set of environments. It's just going to be a whole brand new maze. Basically, whenever you go into the next room, you're never going to really know what enemies you're going to have in there, what the environmental hazards are going to be, and even in some cases, you're not even going to know what boss you're going to be facing next. So it's always kind of a surprise. We always try to keep things fresh, and we have a lot of content delivered here. Additionally, we also have procedural loot drops. So every time you open up a chest, whether it's going to be a treasure room chest or just the common chest or a secret chest that we have hidden in the environment, you don't really know what you're going to get, but you're going to get something that's going to benefit you for the rest of the game. We also have just a ton of other features that I'm not going to go super into here, but basically we have some one-time use items that are very powerful. We're going to have a lot of unlockable characters that you can do, so as you progress through the game, you beat it a couple times, you get a new character to play around with, and each one has their own strengths and weaknesses, so it's up to you to kind of feel out which ones you like best. We have a lot of rare yet very powerful, unique weapons and spells. I'm just going to do a shout out real quick to Headbang and Button Mash. There, we have an item for them, so thanks guys. We have dozens of event rooms to keep things fresh and kind of lighthearted to keep people drawn into the game and make them really like what we're doing, I guess. We also have local co-op. That's probably the most important feature of the other features list. So you can, this again goes back to us playing on the couch with our friends on the Super Nintendo, playing games together. And that's what the feeling that we want to bring back is the local co-op. So that is in there, and it's awesome. You can actually play that tonight. If you guys want to come up here with a friend, you guys can play our local co-op we have here. So our current state of the game and the company, basically we had a Kickstarter back in November. We were successful, we raised $11,000, and that's gone towards us buying our licenses and keeping us alive while we finish up the game. On top of that, we've had a lot of really good press. So again, shout out IndieMind, if Brandon Schmidt is here, thank you very much. Also Headbang, Bone Mash guys, Jared, Paul, you guys are awesome. So, also we play a lot of darts. And also, we just moved into a garage. So we rented out. we got kicked out of our incubator space, and then we decided we're going to rent out a house, as we did, and we converted the garage into an office, and it's awesome. So, yeah.
So if you want to play outside, just open the door.
Yeah, see, that's that one right there. So the last thing, I guess I'll answer questions in a minute, but the last thing I want to say is how you guys can help is there's just one thing. That's this. Steam Greenlight. We really need votes because that's the platform that we want to get on. We're also building out for Linux and Mac along with Windows, but before we can do anything with the game that's marginally successful, before we can get it out on an international level, before we can get it out to anybody, we really need to get on here. So tell your friends about us. Please vote for us on Greenlight. And anything you can do to help us out, spread the word, because the worst thing that could happen to a little indie like us, 7 guys working out of a garage, is nobody knows about us. You know? So really appreciate it. And again, I want to thank IndieNomicon for letting us come here tonight, and the Melrose Center for allowing this to happen. Thank you very much. Is that it? Yeah, I can take a couple questions, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to bring up just the co-ops.
Yeah.
Most games that feature co-op before or nowadays will implement a unique feature, not just having 2 characters together. Streets of Rage, for example, at the end of the game, they have a special segment where you choose to oppose each other, you have to fight each other. Next, a more recent co-op game will have a weaker co-op partner. What will be the case with Ascendant? Will be the exact same character being played, or will you have something that integrates into the story? How would that work?
Okay, so the question was about the uniqueness of our co-op system. Basically, we've been playing around with a few ideas. One of them was like maybe sharing the life bar, because the game is tough, and like I said, the health pickups are few and far in between, so it's really hard to regain that health. So we were thinking like once one person dies, then maybe both of you will die. You know, another option would be definitely like having them combat each other in the end is another option. I think we're kind of leaning more towards something like Spelunky is doing, where you can kind of help each other out after death. But we're still in development, so we're still kind of working on that idea. Right now, it's just like you have your 2 health bars, you're doing your own thing together, but like we'll still be working on that. Yeah.
Thought about doing something kind of like Little Big Planet, where like you have specific puzzles or kind of events that can only be triggered during co-op?
We haven't actually implemented anything like that. Right now, we're just trying to make a really pure single-player experience, because that's probably going to be the majority of people playing our game. A lot of the puzzles and stuff that we do have, you can do it with 2 players. It might be a little bit more difficult, but like I said, we're just trying to make sure that the single-player experience is absolutely great. Yeah.
What was like the one takeaway you got so far, the biggest takeaway from the Steam Greenlight experience? Something you learned?
I would say don't do it early, do it when you're ready. When we launched ours, which was back in November, the same time that we started the Kickstarter, we basically just had a tech demo. We didn't have the trailer that we had here. And so that turned a lot of people off. And you can't get those votes back unless you like specifically target the no voters, but you don't know who those are. So I would say like definitely when you're ready, when you have an excellent trailer, and spend some time researching like your front page right there, because that's the first thing that they see. Even that first paragraph, knowing what that's going to say when a person hovers over your little 512 by 512 picture in Greenlight, knowing what that's going to say is important too. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
What engine did you build it on?
This was all in Unity, so everything was in Unity. All the models are in 3D, and so those were all built in Maya. So, yep. Okay.
You use Pro?
This was Pro. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, just a quick wrap up. If you guys are getting a chance to play all of the games that were presented tonight, again, Red Dead in the back, Temple Tap off to the left, and Ascendant is going to be set up here in the front. I want to make one special announcement. This team over here, in the black shirts, if you guys could wave, this is TBA Games. Have you guys changed your name, or it's officially TBA Games? TBA Games. They presented a number of months ago at IndieNomicon with a game called PeriAreion. Very cool Mars simulator game. They are launching their Kickstarter campaign today. So check that out. Support them. And be sure to get on the Steam Greenlight. We have 2 games here tonight that are on there. We want to support them and see more Orlando games on Steam. All right. So I think that wraps things up. I again want to thank the Melrose Center for giving us the opportunity to present here. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.